Hello, and welcome to another episode of TEW 2020 WWE here. We are here with the October pay-per-view specials. We have Smackdown presenting Halloween Havoc, and we have the NXT and Raw co-branded Extreme Rules. And we're going to get right into things here with Smackdown's Halloween Havoc getting underway. A little promo video showing off some of the key matches on the card. Baszler, Belair, Balor, Bullard, Charlotte Flair, Portella, Muerte in that Buried Alive match, Ripley, Riott for the Women's Universal title, The Rock versus Fatu, and of course main event Steel Cage Universal title, Big E defending against the Fiend for an 85 here. It's a stacked card, high hopes, hopefully it'll do well. We're kicking off things here with that $1 million championship match. It's Bianca Belair defending her gold against the returning dominant Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler hadn't been seen since coming off on the losing side in the feud for her Women's World title against Asuka at WrestleMania and then at Backlash, making a return onto SmackDown, going for Bianca Belair, going for that $1 million title that if she wins it, she can trade in for a shot at a women's title of her choosing at Survivor Series next month. Will she be able to come on top, or will Bianca Belair be able to take that final step to herself trade it in perhaps and get her own chance to become a world Women's Champion? We'll find out now. It's Belair versus Baszler for the $1 million title, and Shayna Baszler comes out on top in the end. Shayna Baszler knocking Bianca Belair out with a stiff knee to the face and a couple stiff elbows as well for picking up the pinfall here. Shayna Baszler, the new $1 million champion, 4-80 here. Belair doing her best, giving her all, but in the end Shayna Baszler's dominance and her brutality helping her come out on top here to claim the $1 million title. 64 for the champion Belair, 75 for the new champ Baszler. Got the crowd hot. A good start to the show here, I think, with the 80 from these two women, as Shayna Baszler is the new $1 million champion. We then go backstage and we show footage of Finn Balor attacking Apollo Crews. Finn Balor taking Apollo Crews down backstage. Apollo Crews, of course, the mentee of Finn Balor's opponent last night, Thaddeus Bullard. Finn Balor not taking her, is taking out Apollo Crews here before he has a chance to interfere in the match later, destroying him backstage, leaving him lying out before the road agents and security shop to stop him. Crews though down, he looks hurt, he looks injured, doesn't look like he's going to be able to get involved there tonight, so it looks like Balor will have a much more fair and even contest against Bullard for that Intercontinental title for an 86 here. Good work from these two in the segment. Before we head into the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match, Spanish Fly made a strong debut on SmackDown, debuting at Bragging Rights, attacking the champions Ruff and Rush, and then 5 days later on SmackDown, in their debuts, winning the SmackDown Tag titles from Ruff and Rush. And now Leon Ruff and Leon Rush coming and looking to regain those titles they lost in such unceremonious fashion to the young up-and-comers that are Spanish Fly in Alfonso Bourbon, formerly known as A-Kid, and Socrates Torres, formerly known as Sammy Guevara. We have the match here for the SmackDown Tag titles, and Spanish Fly do come out on top here, retaining the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Socrates Torres pinning Leon Ruff following a shooting splash, as Spanish Fly retain the gold for a 68 here. Ruff and Rush giving it all they got, but Spanish Fly come out on top again over their opponents. In-ring performance-wise, 74 for Torres. Torres head and shoulders above everyone as expected. Rush with the 60, doing well. 43 Bourbon, 39 Ruff. Happy with this. Bourbon and Socrates show excellent chemistry teaming together, which is what you like to see about a new tag team, if we're all honest. But it's Spanish Fly who come out on top and end things here, raising the gold. Very strong start to Halloween Havoc so far, and we're going to hopefully continue that next up with a match between two of our strongest performers heading into the event. We have the entrances of Finn Balor and the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion of the World, accompanied of course by Paul Heyman, Thaddeus Bullard for an 89 here. Good work from everyone involved here in this little segment as they make their entrances. The title handed to the ref and raised above the ring. It's time for, in a ladder match for the Intercontinental title, Bullard versus Balor. And in the end, Balor, without Apollo Crews around, he's flying, he's giving this all he's got. He's got the heart, he's got the fire, he wants the Intercontinental title, he wants to end Bullard's as things stand, 11-month reign as Intercontinental Champion. And Balor giving it all he's got. And Balor taking Bullard down and begins the slow climb up the ladder. He begins to reach to the top, he's nearly there, but then out of nowhere, Balor attacked from behind by Alfonso Bourbon and Socrates Torres. Spanish Fly. Bourbon jumping from a turnbuckle onto the ladder, facing Balor. Guevara springboarding from a rope behind Balor onto his back and taking down Spanish Fly, dragging Balor off the ladder, beating him down, hitting him with that Spanish siesta of theirs, leaving Balor down, helping Bullard up, and Bullard taking the slow climb up the ladder while Spanish Fly take Balor down further, and in the end Bullard pulling down the Intercontinental title. Your winner, and still the Intercontinental champion, Thaddeus Bullard, for a 90 here. What a match from these two. This feud has produced some absolute bangers match rating wise, and this finale to it between Bullard and Balor in the ladder match for the gold is no exception. 90 for Balor, 80 for Bullard. Very happy with this. Thaddeus Bullard retaining the gold thanks to the help of his newest partners here in Spanish Fly. And after the match, Bullard and Spanish Fly standing tall over the fallen Balor, all with their titles. Bullard in the middle with the Intercontinental around his waist, and Spanish Fly with their Smackdown tag titles either side of him, as Ballard stands tall over Finn Balor just like he said he would for an 85 here. Really happy with this. Halloween Havoc flying so far as Bullard does come out on top in his feud with Finn Balor for the Intercontinental title here. And then next up we have a blood feud heading into things here. It's Charlotte Flair taking on, in her debut, Portella Muerte in a buried alive match. Portella Muerte was hooded up and she was focused on Charlotte. She was taking her down, eventually revealing her identity as Portella Muerte, formerly known as Thunder Rosa, and says that she's going to end Charlotte Flair here once and for all. It's a buried alive match. Charlotte Flair versus Portella Muerte, and Portella Muerte with a massive debut victory here over Charlotte Flair, burying her alive. Charlotte unable to go on as Portella Muerte gets the big win for a 77 here. What a debut from Portella Muerte, beating Charlotte Flair, the multi-time women's champion. 78 for Charlotte Flair, doing amazing. 52 for Portella, doing well, as Portella Muerte is the victor here over Charlotte Flair. High hopes for Portella Muerte. Hopefully, as things go on, as a pop increase, that in-ring performances will go up as well. She's going to be taking some time off soon, I think, for MMA, which could be a problem, but still, I planned it out. I wanted to get a debut done here, and what a debut it is for Muerte, as afterwards she stands tall over the grave of Charlotte Flair. A very clear message sent for Portella Muerte, and a very iconic image of her standing over that grave with the gravestone adorned with Charlotte Flair's name for a 65. What a debut for Muerte. Then next up we have the Women's Universal Championship on the line. Rhea Ripley defending her gold against Ruby Riott here. And in the end, Rhea Ripley coming out on top with the Riptide to retain her Women's Universal Championship here tonight for a 78. Good match, 76 for Ripley and a 63 from Ruby Riott, as Rhea Ripley does come out on top in the end, retaining her Women's Universal title, gets her arm raised by the ref after the match, but then the music hits of the $1 Million champion Shayna Baszler, who storms out to the ring, title in hand. She gets in the ring, she faces off with Ripley and just throws the $1 Million title down and points directly at that Women's Universal title. A clear message from Baszler that she's going to be trading that $1 Million title in for a shot at Ripley's Women's Universal title come Survivor Series. And Ripley and Baszler, they've had a lot of fights over gold in the past, so what is one more to that list? Hopefully this feud and match will end up being really, really good. 84 for the post-match segment there is a good sign, I like to think. I am very happy with this Halloween Havoc. Amazing show so far. We've got 2 matches left. We're heading into the penultimate match of this evening, which is The Rock taking on Bloodline member Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu looking to get some revenge on behalf of his tribal chief Roman Reigns after Roman Reigns' SummerSlam defeat to Dwayne The Rock Johnson here. The Rock making his entrance for a 79 here. The great one, the most electrifying man in all of sports entertainment, ready for action, ready for another match against another member of his family out for blood. It is Jacob Fatu versus The Rock, and in the end, The Rock picking up the win in the hardcore match between the two with a people's elbow onto a steel chair to Jacob Fatu. He hit a rock bottom onto the chair first, followed by the people's elbow, and he picks up the win. The Rock, the victor here over Jacob Fatu in a really good match, I'd say, between these two. 94 for The Rock, 60 for Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu still doing pretty well, but it's The Rock who comes out on top. The Rock the victor here. After the match, Shaker Fo's Bloodline brothers, the Usos, storm into the ring and go after The Rock, but The Rock able to fight them both off here with punches, hitting a rock bottom onto Jay. Jimmy managing to weasel his way out of a rock bottom himself, but dragging Jay out of the ring as The Rock ends up standing tall over the Bloodline once again here at Halloween Havoc for a 72. Happy with this. The Rock continuing to prove that maybe Roman Reigns' little chiefdom isn't as strong as it thinks. He's beaten Reigns. He's beaten Fatu now. Usos stepping up in a 2-on-1 against a tired Rock, and The Rock fighting them off as well. As Dwayne Johnson shows that he's still got it. He can still go, and he is still ready for a fight here against the Bloodline for his family's honour. Really good work. Halloween, I feel like I keep saying this, but Halloween Havoc doing really well as we head into the main event of this evening for the Universal Championship in a steel cage match. The power of positivity is on the champion Big E's side, and he's going to need all of it against the ultimate evil and the ultimate darkness that is the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. They make their entrances for an 88 here, both men ready for this match. Big E wanting it in the steel cage so that, is in his words, the Fiend can't run, the Fiend can't escape. He gets the Fiend all to himself till he says the match is finished. Looking for revenge for the Fiend, attacking him, attacking his New Day brothers Kofi and Xavier. Will he be able to get it? It's the main event of Halloween Havoc. It's Big E defending the Universal Championship against the Fiend, and in the end here, Big E manages to get the Fiend into a big ending off the top rope and to the mat, pinning him 1, 2, 3. Your winner and still the Universal Champion, Big E. The power of positivity sees him through it, and Big E retains his Universal title in the match of the save so far. A segment rating of 98. What a match. I am so pleased for both of these men, especially for Big E, who's had a really good title reign. I'm glad that he has got the match of the save so far with that 98, just to top off that title reign so far, because he's done amazing work since winning the gold at WrestleMania. A 94 for the Fiend and a 92 for Big E. The two men have great chemistry, and it really shows in that segment rating. I am over the moon. What a pay-per-view Halloween Havoc has been. It has been, I haven't even seen the overall rating, but I'm going to say the best pay-per-view of the save so far. I think it could stay like that for a very long time to come. Big E celebrating in the ring, the Fiend out of it. It's just Big E as the cage gets raised, but then the music of Thaddeus, Bullard hits, and the undisputed Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion of the world, accompanied of course by Paul Heyman, makes his way down to the ring for an 84 here. And then Bullard and Big E stare down, and Bullard takes the Intercontinental off his shoulder. He looks at it, he hands it to Paul Heyman, and then he looks down at that Universal title. Bullard's been talking about this since before SummerSlam, saying he's going to get to Survivor Series, get to that 365, get to that year mark. He's going to hand that belt in, and he's coming for whoever's got that Universal title, and it is looking like that it will be Big E. And both of these men have been on such a roll of late, so hopefully Big E and Thaddeus Bullard for that Universal title will do really well as well. It's a 91 for their little post-match stare down here. Really good rating. Hopefully a sign of things to come in their feud heading into the Survivor Series. What a pay-per-view though Halloween Havoc has been. Overall rating-wise, it gets a 94. It has the best match of the save so far, and it's the best show of the save so far, which seems fair enough to me. Increased up on 37 reasons. I am over the moon, as SmackDown's Halloween Havoc has far blown out my expectations. I am so happy. I'm going to make a speech, and I'm going to single out, I feel like I have to single out Big E and the Fiend, and I will do Thaddeus Bullard as well, I think, and I will just praise them all on a great performance. I'll make the speech. Pleased, and I am well more than pleased, and hopefully we can keep this incredible momentum going into the second pay-per-view of the October weekend. It is time for Raw and NXT's co-branded Extreme Rules. Getting underway with a pre-show kicking off with Tommaso Ciampa defending his hardcore title against Pete Dunne. And Tommaso Ciampa gets a fairy tale ending for his victory here, retaining the hardcore title, beating the Bruiserweight to kick things off on the Extreme Rules pre-show, as the hardcore champion retains his gold for 78. Good match, 78 from Dunne, doing well, 84 from Ciampa. These two doing well, as Tommaso Ciampa is the one who comes out on top. Tommaso Ciampa keeping a hold of his hardcore championship before we head into the second match of the pre-show from NXT this time. It will hopefully be a really good match, face v face though, so who knows the ratings wise, but it's for the NA title, North American Gold on the line. Keith Lee defending against Chad Gable here, and in the end, Chad Gable coming out on top. After a great match with superb wrestling, Chad Gable wins the NXT North American Championship here against Keith Lee. A great match between the two, an 82. Little disappointing, a 91 in ring from both of them. 82 definitely disappointing here, but still 82 good match here for the pre-show. We didn't have a promo video play for the pay-per-view, just highlighting some of the key matches, you know, Lynch Gonzalez, Edge Garza, Cole Bryan, Cross versus Orton for an 88 here. It is very much a stacked card at Extreme Rules. Hopefully rating wise it will be able to match up with Halloween Havoc. We're kicking off things here with the United States Championship on the line. Triple threat, Kyle O'Reilly defending against Matt Riddle and Samoa Joe here. And in the end, Kyle O'Reilly manages to roll up Matt Riddle to pick up the victory here. Samoa Joe pissed off that he's lost this one, attacking Riddle after the match in the ring. But Kyle O'Reilly getting out of there with his US title still intact. Kyle O'Reilly still the United States champion for an 82 here. 79 for Riddle, 71 for Kyle O'Reilly and Samoa Joe as well. As it's a good match to kick off the main card. The 82, Kyle O'Reilly keeping a hold of his United States title though for another month as he heads into Survivor Series. He'll have to make a choice though, because Kyle O'Reilly could, if he wanted to, trade in that US title for a shot at the WWE Championship. But as things stand, that WWE Championship is in the arms of UE squad mate Adam Cole. So will he do it? We will have to wait and find out. We're going to keep things going here on Raw with a tag team TLC match for the belts. It's the Celtic Warriors defending their tag titles against the Hardy Boys, the kings of the TLC tag team match. Who will come out on top? In the end, it's the Celtic Warriors who do so. Sheamus pulling down the titles after a brutal matchup from the two teams as the Celtic Warriors retain their gold for a 75. Good match. 84 from Jeff Hardy in a TLC match, unmatched, but unable to pick up the win here. Drew getting the 78, 69 Sheamus, 59 Matt Hardy. Both teams doing well here, all competitors doing well here. And in the end, however, it is the Celtic Warriors who come out on top and retain those Raw Tag Team Championships of theirs in the Hardys' own playground. Keeping things going on NXT now, we have for the Cruiserweight Championship. It is a barn burner whenever they get in the ring together. Hopefully it will be the same case this time. It's Andrade defending his gold against Aleister Black. Both amazing competitors. They've put on great matches already in this save. Hopefully this will be yet another one. It's back and forth. It's about as good as you'd expect between the two. When appearing is the Velveteen Dream. His music hits. He makes his way out to the ring. Aleister Black a bit distracted here by Velveteen Dream. He was on top, but he's a bit distracted here. The referee telling the Dream to go away, which allows Isaiah Swerve Scott to sneak in and hit Black from behind with a low blow. Black taken out, Swerve getting out of there. The ref not seeing him. Turning around, no one's there. Black's in pain, allowing Andrade to sweep in and hit La Sombra onto Aleister Black and pick up the win here. Andrade retaining the Cruiserweight title following that distraction interference combo from the Velveteen Dream and Isaiah Swerve Scott for a 90 here. Amazing match from these two as you'd expect. It's been a really good pay-per-view weekend rating wise. 89 Andrade, 79 Black. Aleister Black coming out short following that interference as Andrade retains. After the match, Andrade going up the ramp with the gold, celebrating, whilst Velveteen Dream and Swerve get in the ring. Velveteen Dream doing Aleister Black's cross-legged hit and taunting Black after costing him this Cruiserweight Championship opportunity here as Isaiah Swerve Scott smiles and laughs behind the Dream. A little alliance here forming perhaps between Dream and Scott. We'll have to wait till NXT to find out what is up with that. But it's an 84 in the post here. I'm very happy with this. The 90 from Black and Andrade. Amazing work. Hopefully we can keep that with high ratings going. Next up, with the Women's World Championship on the line, is Ember Moon defending her gold against the boss, the Blueprint, Sasha Banks. The best women's match of the save in the build up to this happened. Sasha Banks, Asuka. Hopefully this will be a really good match as well for the Women's World title. Ember Moon, Sasha Banks. And Sasha Banks picks up the win here with a quick cradle out of nowhere. Ember Moon didn't see it coming. It wasn't some big flashy thing. Sasha Banks just rolling up Ember Moon, getting her feet onto the ropes. A little bit of cheating, but who cares? It's Sasha Banks, and she is the Women's World Champion here for a 79. Good match. 71 Ember, 85 Sasha. Ember Moon pleading with the ref, but the ref didn't see it. And Sasha Banks is taking the opportunity to gloat and to taunt as she goes up the ramp with her new piece of gold in her arms, as Sasha Banks is the new Women's World Champion here. Then we head into the crown jewel of matches of the night, of any night, let's face it. We had the entrances for the WWE Championship match. Daniel Bryan, the challenger, Adam Cole, the WWE Champion. They enter for an 85 here. Both of them look excellent here already. It's got this big fight feel. People want to see this. They want to see Adam Cole, Daniel Bryan. I'm sure we can all agree on that. And it's time for the match for the WWE Championship. The two men burning this house down. The crowd cheering, chanting. They're loving this. Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan both putting everything on the line to prove they're the better wrestler, to prove they deserve to be WWE Champion here. But in the end, after all said and done, after both men lay everything they've got in that ring, your winner and still WWE Champion, Adam Cole. He manages to get the last shot off onto Daniel Bryan and pins him to retain the WWE Championship. Adam Cole still got that gold, baby, for a 93. Segment rating wise, once again, another amazing match. 94 from Adam Cole and a 90 from Daniel Bryan. Both men tearing this up. And Adam Cole keeps a hold of his WWE Championship for another night. He's bested Daniel Bryan. He's proved he's the better superstar. He's still the WWE Champion. What a match between these two. This could have main evented any night, but we still got some big matches coming up. Maybe not in ring wise. I think this probably will be match of the night segment rating wise, and there's no qualms from me with that. I thought it was going to be match of the weekend, but Big E and Fiend's 98 high surpassed any standard I had for that. But we've got some big storyline matches coming up, including this next one for the NXT Women's Championship in a last woman standing match. It's Becky Lynch taking on Raquel Gonzalez. They enter for a 91. Becky Lynch choosing the stipulation of this last woman standing, wanting to take Raquel Gonzalez out properly. She wanted to make sure she couldn't stand. She didn't want to pin. She didn't want to submit. She wanted to take her down once and for all, and she'll get her opportunity right now. It's for the NXT Women's Championship. Becky Lynch versus Raquel Gonzalez, and in the end, the two women giving this everything they've got. They're brawling it out on the stage, and in the end, Raquel Gonzalez manages to pick up Becky Lynch and throws her off the stage, through tables and whatever else at stage side. And in the end, Becky Lynch can't get up. Your winner and the new NXT Women's Champion, Raquel Gonzalez. An 80 for the match, 87 Lynch, 68 Gonzalez. Happy with this, as Raquel Gonzalez is the winner, is the new NXT Women's Champion. Becky Lynch giving it everything she's got. Gonzalez coming out on top. Medics checking on Lynch whilst Gonzalez poses on the stage with her new piece of silverware. Raquel Gonzalez, your new NXT Women's Champion for an 85 in the post-match segment here. Good work from these two. Happy with this. Raquel coming out on top with a dominant display against the man, Becky Lynch. We then get ready for a blood feud heading into this, probably the biggest feud of all the matches this pay-per-view weekend. It's Angel Garza Edge in an unsanctioned match. Angel Garza still not medically cleared to compete, but choosing to anyway to get his hands onto Edge after Edge's vicious assault of him cost him the WWE title. Could have cost him his livelihood, his career. Angel Garza wanted this. Edge making his way out to the ring for a 90 when Garza attacks him, not waiting for the bell. The two men getting right into this here, just brawling it out. This is a fight. This is a war. This is Godzilla versus King Kong level of hate and rage, and both men wanting this and fighting for this. Garza wanting revenge, Edge wanting to prove that he still got it, wanting to punish Garza for taking the WWE title away from him as well. Edge said he didn't know what he'd do if he lost it. We saw what he did. It was brutal, it was vicious, it was nothing like the Edge we'd seen this year so far. And him wanting to take his anger out on Garza here, and in the match the two men go at it until one man can go no more, and the man who can go no more is Angel Garza. Edge managing to hit the spear in the end and pick up the victory here. Edge defeating Angel Garza for an 84, 77 for Garza, 88 from Edge. Great work from these two as Edge comes out on top after the match. Edge dragging himself to his feet whilst medics rush in to check on Garza. Garza, in the end, neck brace on, being stretched out by officials, whilst Edge watches in from the ring saying that he told him he didn't know what he'd do, that Garza did this to himself, whilst the crowd boo Edge as Edge stands in the ring looking around like, why are you booing me? I told him, I warned him, I told him to stay away, and he did this to himself. For an 83, really good work from all these involved. Edge was a real star. Garza came out looking excellent. Very happy with the work in the feud between these two. Garza doesn't look like it was a wise move to go against his medical instructions, but he wanted it, but he couldn't come out on the end. It is Edge who picks up the win in the penultimate match of the pay-per-view weekend here, as we head into the main event of this evening for the NXT Championship. Hell in a Cell. Karrion Kross defending his gold against Randy Orton. The two men making their entrances for a 92 here. The cell is lowered. This match has been building. These two men want to hurt each other. They want to bash the hell out of each other. Orton wanted Hell in a Cell. He wanted this devil's playground. He wants to hurt Kross. He wants to take the NXT Championship from him. And Kross, loving it. Kross wants this stipulation. He wants pain. He wants brutality. He wants to destroy Randy Orton. He's got his chance here. It's the main event of Extreme Rules. It's the main event of an amazing pay-per-view weekend. Hopefully, we can end it with another great match here. NXT title on the line. Hell in a Cell. Karrion Kross versus Randy Orton. In the end, your winner is Karrion Kross. In the end, with the cross jacket, Randy, after a brutal match, no choice but to tap out, as Karrion Kross retains the NXT Championship against the Legend Killer, Randy Orton, in Hell in a Cell. 84 for the match. I knew it wouldn't be match of the night, but 84 is still a really good match between these two, I think. Nothing was going to compete with the 94 from Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan. Nothing was going to compete with the 98 from Big E and The Fiend, but an 84, still really good from Kross and Orton here for the NXT title. 84 from Kross, 83 from Orton. Very happy with both of those ratings. Karrion Kross coming out on top after the match. Karrion Kross posing over Randy Orton with Scarlett by his side, WWE Championship in his hand. Kross feeling on top of the world as the cage is raised, when out comes Chad Gable. The never say die, never give up spirit of Chad Gable, as he bounces down to the ring, checking on Randy Orton before standing up, NXT North American title round his waist. He stares down Kross, but then he looks down at the belt round his waist. He points at it. He looks up at Kross, and then he points right at the NXT Championship. Gable at Survivor Series with that gold now. He could trade it in. He could cash that championship in for a shot at the NXT title. It didn't go so well last time he had an NXT Championship match against Karrion Kross, but maybe this time will be different with his mentor Randy Orton. Although Randy Orton, his mentor, is currently unconscious on the floor, so who am I to say it would be any different? But Extreme Rules going off air here as the Hell in a Cell is raised, and Kross, still with the gold, over the unconscious Orton, stares down with the new NXT North American Champion Chad Gable for an 82 here. What a show, what a pay-per-view weekend. Extreme Rules overall getting an 85, really happy with that. Some amazing matches. A special shout outs to the Cruiserweight title match between Andrade and Baszler Black, and of course that 93 from Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan. Really happy overall. Halloween Havoc blew it out of the bag, and Extreme Rules did incredible as well. I'm very happy. I'll make my speeches to Adam Cole, I'll do it to Daniel, and I will do it to Andrade, I think. And I will just praise them on a great performance. Pleased, and I am very much pleased with this pay-per-view weekend special. It's been amazing. Next up will be Survivor Series. Hopefully we can have some really amazing matches there and keep this momentum going. If you've enjoyed it, I hope you've had it. It's been 2 really special nights of wrestling, I think. So if you have enjoyed this, then please like and subscribe for more, to keep up to date on what's going to be happening in the fallout and then the build up to Survivor Series. So like and subscribe for more, and thank you for watching.